Huh? What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2022 movie Thor: Love and Thunder. So in this movie, Gore the God Butcher is going on a killing spree, killing off as many gods as he can, trying to kill them all, and he's going after Thor. So Thor teams up with Valkyrie, Korg, and Jane Foster, who has now taken on the mantle of the mighty Thor as well, and they team up to take on Gore the God Butcher. This movie is alright. I don't like it near as much as I did the first time I saw it in the theater. I think part of it is just seeing the negative impact this movie has had on the MCU and everything. It just isn't as enjoyable because of that and everything. It really took a big impact on the MCU. Plus, it just wasn't near as fun as I remembered it to be. The first time I watched it, I had a lot of fun with it. Maybe it was just because it was something new and everything. Maybe it was just a new bias or something and everything. But I didn't enjoy it near as much on this rewatch and everything. And even though I did enjoy it in theaters, I didn't really have like a big desire to go revisit it and everything. I didn't revisit it until tonight, and I gotta say, it just isn't as good this time. A lot of the problems I had with it were a lot more obvious this time around. I still have the problem with Jane Foster coming back. Them bringing her back just was not a very good idea to me. They could have found a new character to take on the mighty Thor part instead of having Jane Foster, because Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth just do not have chemistry and everything that they did in the first two movies, and they still don't in this one, although I will say they worked a little bit better in this one than they did in the first two, but their chemistry is still not there. And I will say, though, that Natalie Portman is a lot better in this movie than she was Thor: The Dark World. In that movie, she just really phoned in her performance and gave one of the worst performances of her career, really, and everything. In this one, you can tell she's having fun with it and everything. You can tell she's actually more on board with this one. She actually seems to be more on board than she was either of the previous two Thor movies. She's a lot better in this one, but I still am not just real crazy for her as this character. I think Natalie Portman is better suited for other types of movies than the big budgeted blockbuster movies like this one and Star Wars. I think she's better suited for smaller movies, indie movies, or stuff like Annihilation and smaller stuff like that. And everything. She's a really great actress. She just isn't suited for these. Kind of like I feel like Brie Larson is a great actress, but she's not really suited for the MCU either. Hopefully, the Marvels will change my mind on that, though, because I really do like Brie Larson and everything. I really hope she comes more into her own in the next movie. But anyway, sorry, I was getting a little sidetracked there. But I will say, Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher. The first time I saw this movie, I was absolutely blown away by him. And rewatching it, I still really love him. But going in knowing how the movie turned out and everything, I didn't enjoy him as much this time because I knew how things were going to end and how he kind of feels wasted and everything. Like they don't do near as much with him as they should have. I think I read somewhere that he only had like 17 minutes of screen time and everything, and every time he is on screen, he steals the show and is absolutely amazing, like Christian Bale should be and everything. But this movie should have focused a lot more on Gore the God Butcher and everything, and the tone is all over the place. Like the comedy, like I said, there's a lot of really funny moments in this movie and everything. I thought the humor in here is hit and miss, though. Some jokes landed really well. Some jokes didn't land as well because they were just poorly placed and everything. Like they have something really serious happen, then all of a sudden they come up with a really silly joke to overthrow the tension and stuff, and it just doesn't work as well as it should. It's not necessarily that I think the movie is bad and that the humor is terrible and everything like a lot of people do and everything. I wasn't really that offended by the humor, and it didn't like take me out of the movie really or anything, but I do understand the criticism and everything. I see that it did take away a lot from the serious moments and everything, but at the same time, like I said when I did my review for the first time, when I did my spoiler-free, I said that I knew going in Taika Waititi was going to up the comedy in this movie because of how well received Thor Ragnarok was and everything. Disney and stuff, if they know something works in one thing, they're going to up it in the next and everything. So it wasn't really that big of a surprise to me. I will say one of the other things that takes this movie down is the CGI is just terrible in this movie, which the CGI in the MCU has always been bad, even in the earlier movies, which compared to the way they look nowadays, those movies look pretty good, but the CGI in like the original Avengers and stuff like that hasn't really aged all that well. To me, I don't think the CGI has ever really been that good in the MCU, but I usually just overlook it because the stories are usually better. And this movie, I still feel like the story is pretty decent. I like some of the things they did in here with the story, but I just wish they would have done more with it and everything. They could have had this be such a better movie than it was. And the Guardians of the Galaxy not being in here was a whole lot was disappointing to me at first when I saw it the first time, but on this rewatch I kind of decided that I'm kind of glad that they were only in here at the beginning of the movie, because I don't think Taika Waititi's type of humor would have fit with the Guardians of the Galaxy characters very well. We kind of see it a little bit in that opening scene and everything with them, that he didn't really know how to write the Guardians very well and everything. So I'm glad that they only were in the little bit they were in, because I think James Gunn's style of humor is better suited for them. But there are some really visually nice moments. So like the scene when they're in I can't remember what it's called, but the I think it's the Dark Dimension or something like that, where they're I can't remember exactly what it's called. I just slipped my mind, but I know what it is. I just can't think of the name. But when they go into that world where it's black and white and stuff, the cinematography there is just absolutely gorgeous. I love that part of the movie and everything, and the whole big final battle with him and all the Asgard kids and Thor giving them the powers and stuff. It was kind of cool and everything. I know I hear a lot of people saying, where were these powers in Endgame and stuff, but I think that the reason he gave all the kids that is because he knew he was outmatched if he was facing him by himself and everything. He knew it wasn't going to be as big of a chance of him winning, maybe, I don't know. And also maybe the reason he was able to give them his powers is because they were Asgard kids and everything. But I thought it was a cool new power, though. Like I said, it didn't really bother me that he never used it before. I thought it was just something cool that they added to the story and everything. So, like I said, this movie is alright. It's not quite as good as it used to be to me and everything. So I'm gonna give Thor: Love and Thunder a 6 out of 10. I think this movie was just okay. It's not my favorite, not the worst movie ever, not the best, just okay. Middle of the road MCU, not even mid-tier really. It's still in the lower part for me, but it's not near as bad as some people like to claim that it is. Either it's not the worst thing ever. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Thor: Love and Thunder, and I hope you enjoy this video, and have a good day, everybody.